Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with another daily Casper and crypto live stream, and once again, blood is in the water. Casper again looks like it's about to come back down. Another crash, another 10% correction in price. A lot of the market again is looking very, very bearish, but seemingly we have some form of confirmation of a bear trap. Also, as a little treat for everyone here, while the FUD is extremely deafening, I'm sure, for a little treat to everyone watching, I am going to disclose not one of the biggest ones of course, but one of the institutional documents that I provide to the executives in the community here, just ultimately to lay out for one of many sources we have in there, just to lay out the institutional sentiment for this cycle. They still believe that 2025 is the year of adoption, so we will likely see a reversal in my personal belief. Again, not financial advice, but there's a lot still coming to this space. We'll get into the FUD, the reason why the markets are corrected again today, and then we'll get into the significant Casper news, followed by the stablecoin news, the Deloitte research paper, and then also how we can correlate that to crypto and Casper as well. But as always, if you enjoy these daily live streams, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. You know the deal. And equally, if you want to be even more locked in, maximizing the benefits you can make from crypto, this research document I'm going to be showcasing in this stream is just one that I showcased earlier in our executive live stream earlier today. And there's a lot more very, very in-depth documents we showcase in there as well. This is one of the smaller ones, truth be told, but if you want to see the bigger ones in there to give you a better understanding of the sort of adoption we're going to see, then by all means come check out the CF executive community here, wop.com/coin factory, $4.99.99, but it's a 7-day free trial. You can join and get a peek behind the curtains of what we provide in there. Welcome back everyone again to our daily live stream content. Adam Bates, my man, first, great to have you back again, my man. Welcome back to the channel. Mr. Miles must be at least second. Sorry, well, unfortunately, he has not reported for duty again today. He must still be on that hamster wheel, running to get the power up and running for the stream. I'm sure he'll get a little bit of a break in a moment, but I'm sure he'll be tuning in later on. Llama Man, welcome back again to you too. Yo, Buffalo 3, I'll take third. Hey, third is still a medal, a bronze medal nonetheless, so still great to have you back, my man. Common sense man, I'll take 17. Casper for the win. I'm sure Casper will do extremely well this cycle, no doubt about it. Now, if you look at the market chart right now for Casper, we can see Casper again currently down 9.16% on the daily time frame, valued at 6.34 cents. And once more, this is not a correlation of Casper doing badly, it's the markets. One thing you need to understand right now, which I'm sure we all do, but one thing we need to understand right now is Casper and crypto's correction is not a lack of tech, it's not a lack of fundamentals, it is purely macro weighing in on the markets. The tariffs, the geopolitical news, the wars, the uncertainty, all these sort of factors are playing a massive part into traders, into market sentiment, and that is causing all projects, no matter how good they are, all of them to correct. And we'll get into exactly why the markets are correcting today in just a moment. It's probably still a bit of an aftermath following the news we covered yesterday with Israel bombardments. And as a result, therefore, war being bad for markets caused the markets to correct quite heavily yesterday. Again, I think Casper did correct about 10% yesterday. If we zoom a little bit closer, we draw it out, I believe we do see about a 10% correction yesterday. It ended at about 7.28. It actually ended just above the level of support here, which was nice, but unfortunately it's continued to go down. So far I have been respecting this downward sloping wedge here, so hopefully we'll see it, bounce off this zone here and then start trading in between the zone here until we see a significant breakout closer to the top, closer to the cross here. But again, where it goes from here, time will tell. If I'm being blunt and honest right now, with the current market sentiment, I'm predicting more so Casper and similarly crypto probably to come down a little bit further. I think Casper is most likely going to be holding here. This is for me deemed as a very, or dare I say, absolute bottom for Casper. And with all the big catalysts coming through, major catalysts all taking place in and around this date here, on the 5th of May. Many big things happening around then. That could be the rally we see for Kaspa starts happening prior to that, and of course then the blow off top following that as well. But again, time will tell most definitely. Next level Cash, my man, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a very, very good weekend so far. Good to have you back, my man. Kaspa at 0.64, Tau at $230 by a little. I mean, yeah, both of them are extremely undervalued. Kaspa from its all-time high is down what I believe to be 67% or so, give or take. 70% now, which I know sounds terrible, but then take a step back, look at Ethereum, the second biggest crypto in the space, the biggest altcoin. From its all-time high last cycle, Ethereum is similarly in a very bad spot, down 62%. So when you think Kaspa's doing terribly, down 70%, look at Ethereum, look at every other project in the cycle. You can ignore the outliers at XRP and also Bitcoin, which have their own, but Bitcoin's just a massive asset, so it coming down 60% would be, dare I say, confirmation of a bear market and a crash. XRP, of course, had its relief rally following the confirmation the lawsuit is effectively over, and truth be told, it is now over. It's being dismissed as we speak, and they're also getting Judge Toya to remove the injunction on Ripple to allow it to sell to institutional clients. But currently it's down almost 40%. So these two are doing better than most, but everything else is down 60+%. Even Sui right now, which I made a video on Sui yesterday, which I'm surprised it did as well as it did do, truth be told. I know not a lot of people in this channel necessarily like Sui, but again, I think there is a good chance Sui makes some big gains this cycle. And we can see with Sui is currently down about 60% or so, 57%, 58% since its all-time highs back on the beginning of the year. Many assets in the space are still down. And then, of course, we look at Tau again. Tau, for me, is a massive project, a big AI project. AI, again, if you're a part of this community, you will see countless institutional research documents that showcases to you proof of the growth in AI and the belief institutions have in AI, which is why my conviction in Tau is very strong. I don't hold as much as I do with Tau of Kaspa, but I do believe in Tau very much so. Even Tau is down 70%. And it's got a Coinbase listing as well. It's got more adoption Tau than just Kaspa. So I think Kaspa's Kaspa's reversal, its potential gains of cycle could be much bigger as well, because it's going to have those listings to help as extra catalysts and momentum pushers for Kaspa price as well. My personal belief again, not financial advice. How much lower will Kaspa go? Tough to say, RJ, really is. I do speculate, based on the fundamental news we're going to get to in a moment, that we could see some further down. And I want to highlight again, while TA is very useful to help you kind of judge the price trajectory, so to speak, for me, macros and fundamentals, ultimately they are the deciding factors for where the price is going to go for crypto and assets. For me, it's always been macro. The price doesn't go down. The price goes down because of news. The news doesn't come up because price goes down. You've got to understand the difference between those two. So we'll get into the macroness in just a moment as well. Kaspa could probably come down a little bit lower. I do see a future where Kaspa comes down and touches this level of support again, a very strong level of support, around 5 cents or so. Again, it may respect this wedge here and go towards the cross and then make a move. Again, we'll have to wait and see where it goes from here, but it depends when we get the relief rally. Long term, again, Kaspa's still looking very, very good. What's up, Crypto Man? You're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the channel. But yes, short term, I mean, Kaspa, again, due to also, if you look at the hash rate again being a key indicator for a proof of work project, this indicates right now we're seeing it consolidate around 1.1 to 1.2, which is considerably lower than a few months back when you were looking at Kaspa, consolidate around 1.3 to 1.5. It's been coming down and staying around here for some time now. It's ultimately a sign the miners are starting to go offline. They're not making profits. You'll see more profits coming through with 10 BPS as there'll be more opportunity to mine blocks, which would be good for the miners, definitely, especially solo miners. But because the hash rates come down, this is also an indicator that it's not profitable right now, so people are turning off their Kaspa miners, either waiting or going elsewhere because they're not making money. So this also is a good indicator that the price shouldn't be able to. I mean, it will probably come down a little bit further, but it shouldn't be able to go much lower from here. Otherwise, the hash rate will continue to go down. The proof of work element of the project will start to struggle, and that will also make Kaspa more and more obsolete. But for me, again, chances of that happening are very, very small to none. Wish it would just hit 3 or 5 cents, and then when I got paid, it's all off by a week. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just so close. It's like just playing games with us right now. And while the FUD is definitely loud and deafening, I also choose these as premium buying opportunities for crypto and for Kaspa in particular, because again, who would have thought we'd be able to buy Kaspa back at 5 cents where it was in 2023? It sounds frustrating, of course, I know, you definitely got in anywhere above here. I'm sure, yeah, I'm not discrediting the sentiment that you may have and the bearish new feeling you may have on crypto and Kaspa, but I will hopefully help you alleviate that concern in the stream, especially when I end up showcasing this article here, one of many in-depth institutional articles that I provide to my executives. This one here is from Deloitte. So one of the ones who are effectively the smart money, the leaders of the world. But what they're talking about here is 2025, the year of payments stablecoins. Ultimately highlighting that this year is a very big year for adoption for stablecoins as well. And this will correlate greatly to crypto as well. And again, this is just a small, I'm choosing this one because I think it's a very important document that we all need to look into anyways. But again, this is also my way of giving you a small peek behind the curtains of what more we provide in there. This is one of the smaller articles, truth be told. We have articles in there that showcase from institutions confirming that the amount of transactions we see a year is above $1 quadrillion. That's not saying how much money there is in the world, it's how many transactions are conducted a year. Over $1 quadrillion. And, institutions are researching, that's what they believe, that's what they've surveyed, that's what they've researched. And therefore, you've got to understand that sort of capital, that sort of transactional volume is going to be coming onto crypto as well. That's why, again, I don't get worried about this market sentiment. Why should I? When I see what institutions are researching, what the smart money is doing, and where we're going to go from here. That being said, we'll get into the fundamental news before we get into the Kaspa news, and then I'll leave that big article for later. So you've got to stay tuned and keep watching as you want to see that there. To start off with, we've got this here. Ultimately, the reason why the markets are correct today is due to tariffs. Unsurprising, I'm sure, but majority of the market setbacks have been due to geopolitical news, tariffs, war, recession concerns, you name it. This here from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston President Susan Collins said it looks inevitable that tariffs will boost inflation, at least in the near term. Now I'm going to highlight that part, at least in the near term. So that is Susan Collins there saying it is inevitable, in her belief, that tariffs will boost inflation, which of course is not good because inflation is not what we want right now. But she highlights again, at least in the near term. So that once more is effectively a confirmation that in the short term, we will see tariffs probably cause more negative sentiment on the markets and the economy. Therefore, confirming we may see some more pullbacks, a bear trap confirmed. But again, seemingly it's just a trap. Bear trap, of course, meaning you'll see pullbacks, but inevitably it will end up leading to the relief and the higher highs. Which again, this document I'm going to showcase later on is going to delve more into why that is also confirmation that this is nothing more than just a bear trap. To delve into it a little bit more, we can see here from the Kobe letter, the long-term US inflation expectations have officially surged to 4.1%, the highest level since 1993. Nuts. Absolutely insane stuff. Tariffs front running has led to a $300 billion plus trade deficit in 2 months, and consumer sentiment has collapsed as stagflation is also ramping up. To cover sentiments of this thread here is not just long-term inflation expectations that are rising. 1 year inflation expectations have surged from 2.6 to 5% since the trade war began. In 3 months, we've seen a 2x in inflation expectations, which is insane, absolutely nuts. And this morning, February core PCE inflation in the United States jumped to 2.8% above expectation of 2.7%. Meanwhile, January's core PCE inflation was revised higher from 2.6 to 2.7. So ultimately, we are seeing, while only just minimal, we are seeing month-on-month inflation come in at slightly higher expectations than we expected. Which, even though it's only a margin, it's still not good to see it to continuously come in higher and higher. All signs still point towards the acceleration of core inflation metrics, even as economic weakness arises. Markets have had this notion that Trump's 2nd of April reciprocal tariff days will be the end of market uncertainty. So there was a belief, apologies, there was a belief that come April 2nd, which is early next week, when Trump has his reciprocal tariff day, we would see the end of market uncertainty. However, the S&P 500 has proven that to be false. We can see here the S&P 500 was making a sort of a relief rally for those who are maybe not completely well versed on the nature of the S&P 500, why it is effectively a big deal. S&P 500 is a crucial benchmark in the financial world. Effectively, what it represents is a measure of the US stock market performance and also a reflection of the United States economy. So ultimately, this is something that many investors use as a benchmark to understand how the economy is currently handling it, the nature and the strength of the economy right now, and the S&P 500 provides a broad overview of how the largest US companies are performing. We saw it rallying starting middle of March, and that was around the time I believe Trump made the announcement about the reciprocal tariffs and whatnot day. And now, just 4 days ago, it's done a complete 180 and started coming down. And coincidentally, again, that was around the time we started seeing Bitcoin, again, 4 days ago, being around here as well, started seeing it start to struggle. And then it's come down heavily, partly due to the wars, and of course, the continuation of tariff woes growing and growing. So it's again just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear and FUD. This is proven to be false, and that is why the S&P 500 has posted a 180 plus point reversal in 3 days. Reciprocal tariffs are next. Tariffs, of course, is causing a lot of uncertainty in the markets. I do believe this is by design, but due to the uncertainty it's causing right now, it's caused a lot more negative sentiment in the markets. And that is my belief right now why the markets are reacting so badly right now. I'm pretty sure I saw $1.25 trillion wiped out from the stock market and 300 million or so wiped out, or 300 billion or so wiped out from the crypto markets. That's happening right now. War's not doing crypto markets, tariffs, and ultimately just a lot of, it's just FUD. A lot of FUD in the markets, and again, it is warranted. I understand why. S&P 500 is on track for its worst month since September 2022. So things aren't looking necessarily very great right now, truth be told. However, I'm still not for a single moment worried. For me, as I highlighted in the past, I would only start getting a little bit worried with crypto should we see Bitcoin correct down to below 76k. I might start being a little bit concerned. If it went below 70k to 70, if it got around here, then I would be like, okay, for me, it shouldn't go much further. If it gets anything below 60k, for me, anything below 60k Bitcoin, then I'll start being concerned. At that point, it would be what? It'd be a 40% correction. And of course, it'd be 40% correction. Now, of course, we did see in the last cycle a 56% correction before the reversal. So it is entirely possible we see a repeat of that. But for me, if you saw it come down below 60k or so, then I'd be a bit worried. But as it stands right now, I'm under the impression that hopefully this won't happen. I believe it's a good possibility we may see Bitcoin correct back down to 76k, and as we still are very much in a Bitcoin dominant market, we can see. Did I misspell that? What? Oh, that's why. As we still very much are in a Bitcoin dominant market, 62.2% is rallying up higher and higher. Of course, all the liquidity is being sucked out from every other alt and all going into Bitcoin right now because it's deemed the safest asset right now. So should Bitcoin crack back down to that level again, you may see a lot of these assets make lower lows again. A lot of the alts, Kaspa therefore may come down to the bottom of the support down here. Sui may come down to levels down here. XRP may come down to levels down here. It's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown right now, in regards to the short term at least. The long term, I'm not worried. Adam Bates highlights here, yeah, we've got probably a couple of months right now, because I do see a post here, which is something that someone linked to me, Jordan, shout out my man if he's watching right now, and it's an interesting skeptical post, but I do agree with it, and there are some correlations, if you will. Imagine Kaspa, don't come at me, but it seems too obvious, right? This post is skeptical, but seems like it is seriously going to happen. Let's start. Kaspa has been hit hard with price action, Imagine all the catalysts for Kaspa happened at once, and we saw in the streams I posted yesterday or the day before, where we know 10 BPS crescendo is happening in about 36 days and 18 hours. And we also had a post from the likes of Kaspador, which confirmed that the layer 2 of Kasplex will be going live on the day of crescendo, and then a timeline will follow. So I imagine therefore you'll see it'll go live in the EVM, the smart contract element will be going live very, very quickly after it. So you'll likely see stablecoins come out, smart contracts come out, and 10 BPS all in and around seemingly like Mayish, maybe early June time as well. All around in Q2, and then of course you'll see further developments regarding smart contracts and else stuff, and stablecoins and else stuff as well, going into the latter half of the market and the cycle as well. But yeah, anyway, so imagine if all the catalysts for Kaspa come out at the same time. What if all the tier ones know the liquidity cycle as well as the Kaspa debt? Don't you think there's a coincidence that crescendo is now confirmed the same week that the M2 picks up, which you can see here, the M2 supply start to pick up again, which is very interesting. And it's been picking up quite a lot recently, and equally it's starting to hopefully make another rally towards its high that we saw back in 22. It's near the highest it's been for quite some time. Last time it obviously peaked at the beginning of the year, it's starting to rally up again, and it could be again, maybe the stars are aligning once more that Kaspa's announcement in May is when the M2 continues to rally up higher. Let's say the M2 hits, almost 22 trillion come May, so give it about a month or so. It sounds like quite a drastic jump, but you've seen how quickly the M2 can jump in the span of a month. If that's the case, that therefore is an indicator there's more money in the global economy. This is the Federal Reserve highlighting how much money there is in the economy, in the United States even. M2 is being higher, therefore more money can be into on-risk assets, therefore this could also be an indicator of more investments opportunity for assets like Kaspa as well. And we do know tier 1 listings are effectively waiting for Kaspa, no doubt about it, and they will, from my belief, inevitably list Kaspa when the time is right, and maybe they are waiting for the massive event catalyst of 10 BPS, smart contracts, crescendo, empty supply, market reversals. It could be one calendar event, if you will, that could send Kaspa going parabolic again. Speculative, but there's definitely a possibility of such. Maybe the tier 1s are waiting for the exact moment and list Kaspa between May and July. Definitely possible. These guys have to buy Kaspa and they have millions of dollars worth. I would argue they aren't necessarily smarter than us, but they have the money to control the markets. And I think that this outcome is interestingly likely. What if Kaspa has a blow off top and is a major performer from May through to September? Just by 2 cents, but it seems too obvious to be true, right? And again, I do think it's a quite interesting analysis, and I do see it's backed with quite a lot of logic as well, because a lot of the statements he said there, while skeptical, they all have truth elements to it. A lot of Kaspa's big catalysts are coming around the same time. Tier 1s, we know they're seemingly waiting for events catalyst, as the KF confirmed back in November 10th in their AMA. M2 has just picked up as well, which is very interesting. The very same week, Kaspa announced crescendo. The fact that also the Fed has lessened the quantitative tightening from 25 billion to 5 billion. So we're going towards quantitative easing as well. So, and potentially therefore rate cuts coming through very soon as well. I mean, inflation and war aside, definitely causing some short-term market worries. Long-term things still look very, very bullish. What's coming next in the cycle still looks very, very bullish. Kaspa's core development, of course, Michael Sutton announced the upcoming release of Rust Kaspa Arcade version 1. Scheduled happening and going live in 2 days' time on March 31st. And of course, the full activation of Crescendo hard fork happening on May 5th, 3 p.m. UTC 2025, a little over a month away from now, only 36 days and counting. Getting closer and closer every single day. Things are looking very, very bullish for Kaspa, no doubt. Saying that, community sentiment is still dropping and it's still below 80%, the lowest level since this month. Seems to be some bearish price action is shaking some more investor confidence. And while I get it again, I'm not, I'm trying to be sympathetic. I understand why people are bearish on Kaspa and crypto. It makes sense. The markets are complete rubbish right now. But as I just highlighted very briefly with the M2 supply and that sort of stuff, I highlighted why the market's correcting. I highlighted why I think the market's going to come back. And equally, I'm going to be highlighting soon enough. I keep leaking it, but this one of the documents here from Deloitte highlighting why why the institutions believe we've still got a lot more higher highs to come in the cycle. But of course, the FUD is still very, very deafening. This is one of the other FUDs here from CryptoKing.eth.sol. One of the projects I've been warning people about for a long time is Kaspa. Unproven utility, which is a false statement. No marketing, which is true, lackluster marketing. Poor communication, that's arguable. But solid community, and I mean that much is true. The truth, only part that I say is true there is a solid community. Kaspa community is by far one of the, if not the strongest in this space. And Kaspa Guru highlights him with response saying, how's the utility unproven? Kaspa did the most transactions ever on a proof of work. And that is completely true when you realize that Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, all those 5 projects combined, Kaspa did more transactional volume by 2 times, 2.1 times to be exact. So there's by no means is utility unproven. The marketing element of it, yeah, because Kaspa again is fair, not like Bitcoin. Bitcoin marketing came from community sentiment as well. And that took years upon years of people shilling Bitcoin. And now people understand that Bitcoin is Bitcoin. You know, it is the massive crypto, for what it is. Bitcoin marketing didn't come as a result of institutions. It's happening now because of institutions, but it was originally for people like us. Kaspa's in no different position right now. It's if it's coming in later on, so it's got a quite hard task to do so in that regard, to try and get into a niche of a space where everything is very competitive and everything's also dominated by centralization. It's coming in as a dark horse with decentralization in its full force, trying to compete and combat and shake this space. It's a tough ask, no doubt about it. But Kaspa, I think, again, it's got a lot of big things coming through, and better still, they're not stopping. We know 10 BPS is on the crescendo half on the horizon, and Coda Stuff, one of the key developers for Kaspa, highlights here. It'd be amazing if we get experts or enthusiasts, not experts but willing to survive, in performance to help start the move to superior BPS. So they already have 10 BPS on the verge, on the horizon, and they're already looking to try and get, you know, the 32 element, the 100 BPS element coming out already. It's not even done yet, Crescendo. We've still got another month or so. Once more, the coders, the developers, they don't stop for Kaspa, which is extremely big in my belief, and that's why I'm so convinced in this project. The fundamentals for Kaspa are not terrible. The price is, but that's the macro side of things. And manipulation, we could argue as well. But fundamentally speaking, Kaspa is just as strong, if not stronger, than ever. Well, I say bullish, and that's why I'll come back into these points very soon as well, which is very big, but I'll be getting into some questions, and then I'll get into this paper first off as well. The next question here, I believe, was from Next Level Cash. Wow, I've got a lot of questions. Damn. Cinco de Mayo, let's go. Yeah, you know it. Andy A got 30 more Kaspa. Keep going, my man. Keep building that bag. Very healthy indeed. I love this. Honestly, I'm not telling you to tell me, because by any means, it's you know, money is definitely a private matter. But I am very interested to see your transaction history. It must be very exciting to look at. Buying Kaspa effectively every single day, no matter how big or how small. Your conviction is stronger than most. Keep stacking, my brother. And good job, definitely good job. Please up, or I'll be a clown of my family. I get the sentiment, brother, but again, this is part of the game, if you will. And yeah, Adam basically, it's just time. It's a matter of time. How long is no one can confirm. Seemingly, it's going to be hopefully in the next couple of months. I'm hoping going towards May time. We had one of the worst quarters in history happen. Just gone, coming to the end of March right now. It's been a very, very bearish quarter. We peaked very early with Bitcoin, but we should be having some stablecoins bills coming through very, very soon. This in April, which is also going to be playing into a cost. That's also going to be discussing it here as well. So I hope we start seeing the tides turn, going towards end of April into May. Some form of relief rally. It's not going to be a necessarily blow off top, but you might see a sort of element where you see, you know, this sort of behaviour here. We saw it come down, you see a relief, and then you might see it start to come down again a little bit, but it'll be maybe a higher low, and start to make a gradual rally up again. But again, time will tell. Time will definitely tell. Bought more Kaspa, big up TP man, keep stacking that bag. Come on, 5.25. Yeah, 5th of May, 25 is going to be absolutely huge. Stupid question, there are no stupid questions, brother, don't worry about it. Could Kaspa also fail in your opinion? I plan to keep it long term, and it would be a disaster for me if Kaspa were to fail. There is always a possibility Kaspa could fail, but for Kaspa to fail due to its nature, its structure, its decentralization, its architecture, it would basically require all the miners to, you know, in unison to turn off. It would require a joint effort from a huge portion, over 51% to be exact, 51% of miners to turn off. That would cause Kaspa to fail. But because of Kaspa's adoption, its unique structure, its decentralization, also because it keeps building more and more, they're still building, chances of that happening is, my belief, very, very small, if not, again, nothing's impossible, but extremely, really small. So nothing's impossible, realistically speaking, but out of all the projects in the space that have a chance to quote-unquote fail, other ones have a higher possibility due to the fact that they have more ICOs, pre-allocations, therefore the founders, the CEOs of these crypto companies could just take everything and run. It's not the same thing with Kaspa. That's why my conviction in Kaspa is stronger than most in this space, because it's a very small project, it's a hidden gem, but the nature of the protocol and what it's building is so fair, and it makes it so hard for anyone to take advantage of it. It won't fail at worst, it won't do well as we hope. I mean, in this cycle, yeah, that's the worst case I believe through this cycle, it won't do as well as we hope, but for me, I still think that Kaspa will surpass people's expectations due to what's coming out, the potential blow off top, tier 1 listings, the KRI, which again, we've got posted by the KRI in this stream as well to cover up. All these sort of catalysts could help Kaspa surpass expectations in my personal belief, but again, it's not financial advice. Everybody is bullish, but Trump makes bearish. Why? I mean, nobody right now is bullish on crypto. Everyone right now is in the complete understanding of, right now, the only market that is rallying, only asset that's rallying is gold. Gold's the only thing right now that keeps making higher highs, because right now it's a complete joint understanding in every trader that the economy is in shambles, and due to the tariffs and uncertainty, on-risk assets are equally not a safe bet right now. So when the dollar and fiat currency is in shambles and the on-risk assets markets are in shambles, you go to what is a trusted store of value since the dawn of time, which is gold. Gold's the only thing that's valuing right now, currently up to $3,084. And it's all-time highs, higher highs, keeps going up higher and higher. And gold's going to probably continue rallying. I did see another post, which I think I highlighted yesterday. Did I highlight it yesterday, or did I highlight it in my community? I'm trying to remember. Because even if it's in the executive community, I obviously don't want to repeat that, because that therefore does a disjustice to those who are in that community there. It was in the stream. Yeah, I mentioned it in the stream. I got the source coming up here. Where's the source? It was talking about JP Morgan basically believing there's a possibility we see gold reach $4,500 in the next year. Can't seem to find it right now, which is a shame. No, here it is. There you go. Yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, we can see it. Extreme tell scenarios, gold could soar 50% to $4,500 within 12 months, says Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, not JP Morgan, therefore. So the belief in gold right now is high and high, and that's due to the uncertainty of markets and fiat currency. So therefore, gold is the safest bet. But we're seeing more diversification into crypto either way. And of course, Bitcoin technically being the digital gold means Bitcoin is also within a good shout when the time is right, when we get policies and regulators coming through, which again is not far off right now. So everyone's bearish on the economy. That's why everyone's going to gold right now. But long-term things still look very, very good. Trump is resetting the world playing table. That's also a potential as well. People have an agreement of that as well. What's up, these man who are doing very, very well? I'm buying more Tau and Kaspa, but I'm starting to feel like throwing good money after bad. Wow, that was a bad voice crack. Wow. I'm going to drink some water after that one and take a breather to reflect on my life, because that was terrible. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Yeah, no, I do see. I understand the sentiment. I do. But hopefully what I'm going to showcase in a moment will help alleviate some of that belief. While again, this is the institutional research document, so therefore it's got more weight, in regards to what influencers are saying right now, influencers. But again, this is all, end of the day, this is all it's meant to do. It's not meant to be saying this is what's happening, believe me. It's meant to be just me showcasing you a potential insight from institutions on what they believe, and therefore helping you devise your investment strategies. That's all we do here. Nothing I'm telling you is financial advice. I'm not telling you Kas Kaspa's going to go to the moon, therefore you should buy. I'm telling you the research I'm looking into give me bullish belief on Kaspa and crypto, and therefore the information that I'm showcasing to you, and you should do your own research and hopefully help you devise your own trading strategy. If you don't think you're going to do well, then by all means don't buy. You've got to make your own decisions at the end of the day. That being said, before I get to more questions, I will be covering parts of this article here. Again, to reference this article, is the one that I covered earlier today in my executive roundtable. I will very, very rarely be covering, and by very, very rarely, if ever, be covering articles that I publish to people who are paying in here on the YouTube channel, because again, that's the benefit you get from being in there. But I figured just to help alleviate some further, give you some understanding of what is to come, to confirm this is nothing more than a bear trap in my belief, and also confirm institutional sentiment. I'm going to showcase this article here from Deloitte, a very, very massive institution in the United Kingdom. So they're very, very, very trusted. They're the US advisory. And again, she wants to know a lot more about the institutional sentiment of this market, their long-term outlook, what they're investing into, all this sort of stuff, while also benefiting from trading in this market, learning how to do so much more. You come check out the CF executive community here, www.coin-factory, 7-day free trial, links down in the description, and also on YouTube homepage right here. Equally, as a free community, you can come chill, chat, and learn more about crypto as well. Links to join are right here as well. But that being said, this is one of the articles of many big ones we have in there, and I'll be putting more throughout the week as well. From Deloitte here, 2025, the year of payment stablecoins. In our 2023 publication, Engaging with Stablecoins, our inaugural piece in 2021, so you would want to be a stablecoin issuer, we explored the dynamics of this innovative digital asset class, highlighting complexities, market disruptions, and the evolving regulatory landscape both in the United States and globally. Fast forward to 2025, this year, multiple forces appear to be encouraging traditional financial, so therefore non-crypto native companies to consider becoming stablecoin issuers. So this year, institutions, TradeFi, they are being encouraged to get involved in stablecoins. From a recent surge in market cap and transaction volume of fiat-backed stablecoins combined with signaling from the new administration. So Trump ultimately is helping the fast tracking of TradFi, of the institutions getting more and more involved into stablecoins. We can see here legislative developments. As of February 2025, 3 bills have been introduced in Congress, one of them being the Genius Act, one of them being also the Stable Act. Other one, again, is still it's unnamed right now, but it's being highlighted here. Representative Maxine Waters is the one highlighting it. Ultimately, these are legislative bills for stablecoins coming through very soon as well. Also very big. But for me here, what's really important is the opportunity. This is what institutions are researching and understanding. Opportunities of payments of stablecoins, again, coming through this year. Taking the next step. Stablecoins are transitioning from niche to user-to-user transactions to mainstream bank-to-bank and bank-to-consumer payment applications, transforming traditional payment rails and space traditionally owned by banks. Institutions are actively talking about this, discussing. This is a US advisory, Deloitte UK company, but advising the United States that stablecoins are transitioning from a niche, a small factor, user to user, to becoming a thing that banks should adopt and give to their consumers. They're telling banks to adopt stablecoins, as it's a very, very big factor that's also going to help in more adoption. The risks they're looking at is cybersecurity, data protection, anti-money laundering, blockchain, smart contract risk, depegging for stablecoins, tax considerations, as well as accounting considerations, operational and market risk, and non-regulatory compliance. And in this part here, highlighting essential capabilities. Ultimately, the essential capabilities here is highlighting that stablecoin issuers must prioritize compliance, risk management, and transparency to thrive in the evolving digital finance landscape. And again, this is me just paraphrasing this. Of course, this information is going to be available later this week when I post it in my community, and I'll give a more deep dive about it then. But this is here. Also talk about the impact and response framework. All this massive article, 31-page article here, and this is just one of many massive alpha information we have in that community there that highlights the community sentiment. What we believe is what it is, right? I can believe that Kaspa can reach, let's just say, $50. Completely hypothetical, completely theoretical, of course. I don't think that. But let's just say, I could say that. But if I say that without any backing, it's just noise. When you see articles like this from institutions, from US advisory institution Deloitte, and that's one of many institutions that all of them are saying the exact same thing, the acceleration of growth in crypto adoption with stablecoins, with general ETF stuff like that as well, and again, the long-term plan of it, That's why when I see the FUD, I don't listen to it. I never have. I understand the FUD where it's coming from, and I research what the FUD is based off. Which again, right now it's based off tariffs and war. When you look at what's happening right now, what the institutions are researching into right now, when you're looking at this, you understand that they, not for a moment, are worried. Again, this is highlighting once more they are potentially worried for short term, but again, it's just short term. More downside, more boosted inflation, at least in the short term, in the near term, but long term, they're looking at this year, 2025, being the year of payment stablecoins, when they adopt it through stablecoin bills, the institutions start issuing stablecoins. Therefore, with stablecoin market cap also rallying higher and higher, there's a good possibility we'll see that market cap start flooding into the crypto space when institutions get involved with their regulatory frameworks. Short term, sure, more bold pullback, but long term, by no means am I worried for a second. Again, if you want to know more about this in depth, which I'll be making a more in-depth analysis of it later on in the week, you've got to go and check out the community here. You can join for free 7-day free trial, and that's one of many articles I have in there as well. Other articles in there highlight what institutions are looking at, the sort of projects they're looking at right now, alongside other elements as well regarding, their long-term outlook, how long they've been planning to do this sort of stuff as well, what they potentially expect to see very soon, the sort of deadlines we expect to see as well. It goes on. The sort of capital and money we'll see coming into the space as well. It goes on. The fact they're looking at AI as well, DeFi. Again, I could ramble on for ages about it. There's a lot more to come, and the stuff we provide in that community there, which members of there are making the most of it and understanding more so about the market, sizing it accordingly, and also learning how to trade, which I know people have been very profitable in that so far, and it's been great to hear everyone be able to make profit from that again, be able to capitalize on the market when the market is down. If you want to know more about that, again, links are down below in the description. Also my homepage as well, 7-day free trial. We also do weekly live streams. We did one earlier today, and we're doing another one again next week as well. And to also nicely segue from this big article here, this paper, this research document from Deloitte, this also could be massive for Kaspa. Because Kaspa has an incredible piece of technology, as we know already. Absolutely insane stuff, right? This post from Shire highlighted yesterday, and to paraphrase it, Kaspa is getting a massive upgrade. As we know, we should expect faster transactions, better security, less MEV, and smarter data management. Plus, it's paving the way for more efficient layer 2 solutions. That's something that they are definitely looking at. As we go back down here to the risks, they're looking at protection, anti-money laundering protection again, DPEG on stablecoins. They're looking at accounting considerations, operational market risk. They're looking at regulatory non-compliance, and the KRI also are creating a regulatory roundtable group for Kaspa to make sure they comply with regulations. They also got this as well. Did you know what smart contract rollups after 10 means for Kaspa and crypto? It means transacting stablecoins on Kaspa with fees of $0.0000198. Basically, worthless. You can make a transaction with Kaspa stablecoins with nothing, and that again is something that institutions are going to be very, very, very bullish on. Being able to transact trillions upon trillions of capital whilst taking just a fraction of the cost is ridiculous. They're going to be very happy about that while also being extremely quick. Kaspa is as well. And again, the compliance and other elements as well, the operational market risk, all the other elements as well is being handled by the KRI and their institutional side of things as well. Blockchain and smart contract, again, that's also coming through with Kaspa, and due to its architecture, the risks of, MEV, for example, MEV risk, smart contract, that's also been lessened because of smart contract for Kaspa's architecture. And we've got stablecoin as well. The KRI, of course, they're making their own stablecoin, Gigawatt. The Gigawatt stablecoin will provide a stable, utility-oriented digital asset suitable for everyday transactions such as payments or remittances, while also fulfilling specific functions in the energy sector, including trading carbon credits or settling energy-related agreements. Kaspa, once more, in my belief, is in a very, very strong position. So the FUD, as deafening as it may be, as understandable as it may be, this is one of many articles I look into that completely alleviates all the arguments people make. We're in a bear trap right now. What proof of that is there? Besides you just looking at this price and saying, oh yeah, we're down, we're down 25% in Bitcoin right now, therefore it's a bear trap. That's not proof for me. That's not proof at all. We're down with altcoins, down 70%. Yeah, you're right. Is that proof of a bear trap? No. Look how many other alts have recovered after 70% pullbacks. Not confirmation at all. You see that come back further and still pull back and do insane gains later on. This here holds a lot more weight than what retail believe, because institutions drive the markets. Deloitte and their advising institutions, they are the ones who have a true say on what's happening in the market. You know, they're saying 2025 is the year of adoption. And then of course it goes on more from there as well. So that's once more adding into the confirmation that near term, we can see a boost in inflation. This is a definite bearish trend, but also potentially just a bear trap, because long term, later after the cycle, institutions are still very, very much bullish on crypto and their adoption of the cycle and what's coming through. They want to get a hold of crypto. They want to incorporate it into their back end of their technology. And Kaspa, I think, is in a very good position to start sliding into that market as well, which is their technology as well. In regards to the stablecoins as well, here's Zeller Swaps, for example. A big news game changer for stablecoins on Zeller Swaps. To stay competitive in the stablecoin space, we're rolling out a modular fee engine, enabling ultra-low fees for stable pools and making Zeller an even better home for stablecoin trading. New fee structure, regular pools 0.3 to 0.2 discounted, and stable pools 0.05 to 0.03. With this, we optimize the deep liquidity of high efficiency stablecoin swaps, ensuring traders get the best rates with minimal slippages. Our new module fee engine also allows us to allocate and adjust fee tiers for different pools, giving us greater flexibility to optimize fees based on liquidity, market demand, and trading activity. Therefore, this opens the doors for dynamic fee adjustments based on trading volume and market conditions, and also community governance, where KDAO members can vote to modify fees of a specific pool. So again, once more, it's about being inclusive. Zeller Swaps has made a very, very big announcement here, but also once more said, with this feature, we're giving the community the power. The KDAO members, KDAO of course being part of the KDAO community here, this whole community here is about giving, this whole KDAO token is about giving the community power to make amendments and adjustments to Kaspa what's happening. Where's KDAO gone? Here. It gives community members the power to do what they want to do to help improve Kaspa. And Zeller Swaps is saying, with our new structure, we're giving the members here the ability to vote and make adjustments that they need to help make us improve and make it more, better for the community. So it's a huge, huge feature. That's what I love about Kaspa being inclusive and transparent for everyone as well. Speaking of which, again, Zeller Swap, KDAO recently passed the voting for Omnicas, and we can see here, I'm Jules from the heart of Galata Bridge from Istanbul. This is proof that you can now travel the world fully decentralized. No banks, no borders, just Kaspa and the freedom of Web3. Omnicas is building the future of travel, powered by Kaspa. The voting for funding Kaspa DAO is on progress. So again, this is one big element of Kaspa. This is why the KRI, which I made a video on this, I think sometime last week. Was it 3 days ago or so? No, it was here, 5 days ago. There was a post or the AMA that happened with KDAO. The KRI responded saying that we'd be interested in, collaborating or partnering with you because they have similar ideology, they have similar goals. They all believe in helping Kaspa get to the forefront of the financial world, to become very inclusive, utilized worldwide, and how KDAO are operating, while like a business, they're operating in such a means that it's going to help Kaspa going forward as well as the KRI. The KRI building, Gigawatt, Warp Core, Asset Mint, Olive Chain, ZETX, all very, very big factors coming to Kaspa. KDAO and their governance system and how they're going to be able to let the community vote for stuff as well, equally very, very big as well. Kaspa is, for me, once again, my belief, one of the strongest projects in this space community-wise, and what they are building is second to none. We can see here the adoption is going more and more. A merchant from Kotor, Montenegro, is showing off his online store, Bucks, selling Kaspa merch using CoinPower, Caspian wallets, and Kaspa currency flawlessly. Very cool stuff once again. We all know that Kaspa founder, Jonathan Polinsky, is going to be speaking at the Web3 event in Hong Kong in, I believe, a few days' time on the 6th to 9th of April, I believe. He's going to be speaking from 4 p.m. to 4:15. Again, and that could be a very interesting, interview to hear. I'm looking forward to hearing what he says on the recording, if it is recorded, that is. And in regards to then the FUD element of MEXC, it looks like things are also starting to subside a little bit as well. MEXC withdrawals are now open again, finally, after 3 long weeks of suspension. And once they do that, as soon as they opened it up, we can see, the moment they did, we saw a lot of outflows on MEXC. When I refresh the page, we can see 21.7 million outflows from MEXC, which is precisely why MEXC banded all their wallets into one. They understood, rightly so, there'd be a lot of outflows from MEXC on the day they reopened again, because they shut down for 3 weeks. They've been doing it consistently, and they also acknowledged manipulation going on. It's still an outcommand though. Will it come down below? I don't know. But if you're holding on MEXC, not financial advice of course, but I would personally say, and me personally, I'm not holding anything on MEXC or any Kaspa at least. I do trade on MEXC from time to time. I don't think MEXC is a terrible platform. I actually do like MEXC. Just not for holding crypto. Trading, sure. I think the trading element's quite cool. But for holding Kaspa, I just use a Tantrum on it. Safer thing to do. No doubt about it. It's so safe to do hold it on Tantrum. It's, if you haven't got a cold storage, then you ultimately put yourself at a massive risk right now to lose everything. Because exchanges, they have their own interest at heart. They don't care about you. They may just take all your assets. They have the power to do that. While it sounds bent and it sounds like they can't do it, they can just take everything. Tantrum on your own cold storage, it can't be tapped by anyone but you. But right now, Kaspa again still in a very strong position, and hopefully we'll see timelines, the stars align with this massive crescendo activation happening. Hopefully the tier 1s will also activate as well. You'll see them also jump on board and start listing Kaspa. Follow the M2 supply also looking like it's going to start rallying up, hopefully starting to make significant move. If it continues that way, this could also be a very good indicator for the money to start flowing back into crypto with rate cuts and whatnot as well. The boat is definitely turning, but it is, again, as Buffalo Theory highlights here, it will definitely take some time. No more unfair tariffs. I mean, hopefully. I'm not sure exactly what the agenda for tariffs are right now, but it's still going to be a long haul, no doubt about it. I bought 50k coins more today. Thanks for the fire sale rookies. You know I am, I mean, definitely Kaspa is on a massive fire sale right now. Back-to-back fire sales. This zombie round is crazy. Trump is making a mess that it will recover. It will take the US at least a decade to recover from. I mean, the US was already in a dire situation, truth be told. Don't get me wrong. What's happening right now is like on the financial markets is definitely not good, but I wouldn't necessarily blame Trump solely for this. America already had over $35 trillion worth of debt, and the dollar was already losing value. What Trump is seemingly trying to do right now is save the dollar. Seemingly through stablecoins as well. That's why I'm trying to get stablecoin bill out this, in April. But I mean, how long it takes to recover is the way I'm trying to view it, and I'm not trying to support Trump. The way I'm trying to view it right now is, if the dollar collapsed, that could be America screwed for potentially 50 plus years or something stupid. If the dollar collapsed and they lost the value of the dollar, do you know how there have been countries? I think it was Venezuela. I might be wrong in that, but I'm pretty sure Venezuela at one point was a reserve currency. There was a country out there, and I'll try and find it so I can be more politically correct or geopolitically correct. There was a country out there that was once a world reserve currency, and they got depegged, and now their currency is completely worthless. Of course, the UK was also like that, but we were quite fortunate in that regard, I guess. But the fact that America also is largely an export country, not largely an import country, not an export country, also means that should their dollar decouple, and they're once lending out all their money to other people, they would be screwed. If they're an import country giving out to everybody else, if they're an export country giving out to everything else, they could still have some stability. At least that's how I personally view it. I might be wrong in that regard. So what I'm trying to highlight is, what Trump's doing, yes, it may potentially take a while to recover, but I'm not saying it's necessarily Trump's fault. I think America in general was screwed, and Trump is similarly just trying to do whatever his agendas are. He's trying to make bad out of a bad situation anyways. And it's got everybody very frustrated right now, but I don't necessarily believe anybody else in power. I think anybody else in power either would try to ignore the issue or it would have been just as bad. That's how because right now the whole economy is screwed because the wealthy keep being wealthy and they're taxing the poor. and it's causing a massive divide. And of course, the poor are the ones who make up the wealthy are getting wealthier, and the poor are getting poorer, and the poor ones who make up the economy. So eventually, it's going to cause a massive backlash and a crash. So it was already screwed from the beginning. But again, saying that, Trump's tariffs are definitely screwing with the economy, definitely very much. Trump is evening out tariffs, and I was losing their minds. I mean, yeah, again, I understand why. The odd capitulation to Putin's wishes. Breaking confirmed that Medicare and Medicaid were using taxpayer dollars to run an illegal black market to sell our DNA and medical information between the agencies for profit. If that is true, then that is messed up. But again, that's ultimately how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. They have no care for your privacy whatsoever. That's ultimately why, again, I believe in crypto and more so in Kaspa, because with Kaspa, there's more security, more safety in that regard. If it drops again tomorrow, I'll get more 50k coin every day. Every day it drops. So keep stacking Iron Mike. That battle look very, very healthy in the next few months for sure. You need to take lessons from Poland. I mean, I think everywhere's screwed. I mean, Poland probably one of the better ones right now, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just want crypto to do well so I can, you know, have just maybe even just a week off, honestly. Just a week off. Because much as I'm a workaholic and I love working, I think all of us right now are in need of a holiday. Some time away from the market, some good time away from the markets, you know. We're also buying Kaspa Huge. We're also buying Kaspa Huge. Me personally, I DCA as often as possible. Don't lose hope. I agree with Thomas. I'm also DCAing right now. Well, again, I choose to. I haven't got money right now. I wish I did. But I choose to, you know, I'm trying to do some more trades right now. See if I can try to build some extra capital. And should they come through profitable and I get some extra dry powder, I will be definitely DCAing to Kaspa at this price right now. 6.3 cents is very undervalued. I see a lot more gains to come from that as well. Don't be worried. There are people like me who are out here buying the blood of the miners and starting them up with the juicy low hash rates. Hey, keep going, crypto, keeping Kaspa up by yourself. Absolute legend. How do you know the whales are buying Kaspa? I mean, the whales fundamentally just keep buying the dips in general. I mean, if you look at trading here right now, we can see sharks are buying up right now. Whales aren't. But the larger holders right now in the last 24 hours are buying up. Despite right now we're seeing the price come down. And I think I just refreshed this as well. There we see, look how many holders there have been, yet Kaspa's currently down 10%. What's that telling you? We see no sellers here. Or if you see no, well, we probably are sellers, but we're seeing more buyers than sellers. The price is down 10%. What's that telling you? It's over-the-counter trading that's taking part. It's causing the market to correct. It's not the retail. It's not on-chain. Because we're buying. I love blood. I'll be vampires. We're going to be part of our own Twilight movie, no doubt. I bought 3,000 Kaspa at 0.63 and 500,000 Nacho for $22 DCA. Don't lose hope, Kaspa family. Buy a little at a time. And yes, as Thomas is right there, the conviction is very, very strong. And as always, if you enjoy the stream, we're doing streams every single day. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Spread the love. Kaspa did the best in the bear run. Also very true, and that's why there's always a belief in the community that Kaspa may also rally against the market early because it has proven itself to rally against the market already. I have to see though. Every failed project has a bunch of people saying DCA it to 0. Let's hope Kaspa doesn't fail. I don't have great confidence in the likes of Shy now. Shy is not controlling the project. Shy is not a controller. Shy is one of the focal points for Kaspa, no doubt, but he's not controlling the project. It's decentralized. You know, I understand where you're coming from, DC, I do, but it's not. Shy doesn't run the show. I understand more so if it was from Polinsky, there'd be more concern then, but even then, it's still decentralized. The argument doesn't really amount to much. But again, Shy's not run the show. Kaspa's coming down is not a fundamental thing. All the questions we're seeing right now in crypto is not, for Kaspa and crypto, is not a fundamental issue. It is macros weighing in on the markets. And market makers and exchanges and whatnot manipulating the price to get lower lows. Remember, again, the big Wall Streets, the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargos, they still want in on crypto later on. We just covered here in this paper from Deloitte. They're looking at this year when they're going to start adopting stablecoins and getting more adoption into crypto this year. And again, I got a lot more in-depth insight about that in my community again in here. If you want to know more, check that out. Links down below in the description chat, also homepage. You find it right here. They believe that crypto is going to be huge and stablecoin adoption. They believe in all that stuff, but they haven't got adoption yet. They haven't got guidelines just yet. So there's a good possibility they're setting the price down to shake people out. So when they get the confirmation, they can start sizing in and buying a lot very quickly. ETH death will be our raise. Yeah, I mean ETH. I think ETH will still come back this cycle. After this, though, I think ETH time will ETH time's already numbered, but I think ETH will return this cycle, and then we'll start seeing it fall off going into the next cycle as everyone who's using Ethereum starts bridging over to other chains because it's quicker, more efficient, it's cheaper, it's more secure, or more decentralized with Kaspa. And then ETH will become redundant because ETH is the second biggest one to create smart contracts, but you see people using the original Apple computer because it was the first, and no, or like a derivative, it's just not efficient enough, Anyone that holds through a bull market purposely is mentally challenged. Oh, you mean into a bear market? I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I'll definitely be taking profits. I'll be taking profits, but again, the information I have in here leads there to be a very strong institutional belief that, well, I won't say more because you've got to find out you're going in there, but the next few years, 2025 is going to be the year we see the adoption and growth and boom. But the years following that is just as bullish, if not even more so. The adoption is only going to soar higher from this point forwards. Doesn't necessarily mean price, but adoption definitely, and that will eventually correlate to demand and price. Jay's who's slow responding. I mean, I'm trying to go through the questions right now. There's a lot of questions right now. Kappa has lost it, but the value last 3-4 months ago. Yeah, and look at every other project as well. Kappa's lost 66% in value from the last 3.5 months. I agree. Look at Sui. Look at C. Look at Tau. Look at Algorand. Look at HBAR. All these projects. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum itself, in the last 3.5 months, has come down 55%. That's Ethereum, the second biggest project in the space. It's not Kaspa doing badly. The market, the macros weighing into the market, it's not Kaspa. Don't have the misconception that Kaspa is doing bad because Kaspa's a bad project. Kaspa's doing bad because the market's doing bad. And Kaspa is still an asset within the market. It's not going against the market right now. It's not, much as it did so early on, fantastic, it did so in the bear market, it's not doing so right now. Every project in this space is doing bad. Kaspa's just following along with the trend. Kaspa's down, agree, so is Ethereum, so is Sui, so is C, so is Tau, so is Algorand, so is HBAR, all with enough adoption and relatively well-established projects that will do well this cycle are down significantly because the market is. It's not Kaspa. It's crypto. Kaspa is harder than Finnish Clash of Clans. I mean, yeah, Kaspa is a. I don't know anyone who finished Clash of Clans, to be honest, but yeah, Kaspa is definitely investing in general is a hard thing to do. If it was easier, again, we'd all be billionaires, You got my transaction history in DC. Oh, okay, that's what I saw. Transaction history in DC. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that looks. Yeah, yeah, that's insane, Andy. That's insane. Yeah, Andy's looking comfy right now. Love that, brother. If Bitcoin drops on a $34K area, what will Kaspa do? $4? Potentially. Depends. It really depends, because Kaspa may find a very strong level of support due to the miner falling off and whatnot, and because all the bigger amounts are coming through, Kaspa may just hold at 5 cents. Maybe it comes into 4 cents. Again, it's tough to say. It really is tough to say right now. If Bitcoin comes down to 24K, potentially. When Bitcoin came down to 76K, Kaspa corrected down to 5.6. And of course, now we're not far off that now. It's only another, 10% correction? Yeah. And Bitcoin, in that regard, Bitcoin itself has got another, 7% correction to reach back down here again. So Kaspa could definitely go below that. We'll have to wait and see. You know, it's tough to say right now. Right now, is ultimately all we can keep doing is just looking and learning about and researching about the macro. And then, you know, for me, where it comes back down to the short term, again, I'm looking longer term, look at end of the cycle, and this information here as well as everything else gives me conviction that I'm not worried about this cycle. Bear trap for me. It's a bear trap confirmed. Institutions are saying 2025 is the year of adoption, the year we see a lot more adoption in crypto, and I believe also in Casper as well. Casper was a hoax? I don't know. Why'd you say that? There's a reason Bitcoin has been successful. Yeah, because it continues to. There's still belief in it. Strong belief in it. We need gold to go down because the market to pump. Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Gold's going up because the markets are terrible. But gold goes up because the dollar's falling off, fiat's dangerous, and also because the tariffs is causing risk assets to be unstable as well. Therefore, gold's the best bet. Gold doesn't have to come down for, like, gold's been going up continuously. Look at the last cycle, for example. Last cycle we're looking at here. This is gold last cycle. Gold went to hit the start. Gold did come down a bit then during the bull cycle of crypto, and then started rallying up quite a bit more so when we got into the bear cycle phase early on. But gold doesn't have to come down for crypto to do well. Right now, gold's the safest bet. Even then, gold can of course still go higher from here because, you know, we're making a transition into crypto, and also everything is going to end up being on chain. I wish Joe would post his wallet. It's just in due time, brother. I'm sure in due time. In due time, I'll try. If the dollar collapses, the entire world will feel it a very bad way. Trump is taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen. I mean, yeah, again, love or hate Trump, and again, you're well entitled to either or sentiment. No one has a true idea, and even then, I don't know. But from what I saw, I could speculate that the dollar was on the actual cusp and verge of collapsing, which would have been a complete global disaster. Because the next runner up, I believe, is the Chinese yuan. But even now, they aren't necessarily in a position to become the next world currency. They're taking steps to become it, but they weren't in a great position just so yet. It would have been a global catastrophe, a black swan event. The collapse of all financial markets, a complete reset. People going homeless, people dying, war, civil wars, everything. It would have been terrible. What Trump's doing now, while causing a lot of uncertainty in markets, he's trying to save the economy. The American economy, which eventually is the whole world economy. This is what it looks like on the surface right now. He might also have a personal agenda, but again, he got put between a rock and a hard place, and he's trying to get out. How it means he can. There's no way I could have done any better in this position right now. I would hate to be in this position right now, honestly. We can rebuild an economy with a good currency. We cannot rebuild a currency with a good economy. Also true. Also very true. That's why Apple and other car companies are building here now. I mean, yeah, again, that's what you're seeing more businesses start to migrate over to America now. Jay, please just give us Casper Wallet, donate to you in the description. Okay, I will. I'll get round to it. It's just, I mean, it's just been a lot going on for me right now. Also, tomorrow's Mother's Day. I believe it's a global thing. At least it's going to be in the UK, no doubt. So I will also be very busy tomorrow, spending time with my family. But I'll try and get one out. I'll put it down on my notebook and try and see if I can get a Casper Wallet donation address for those who want to donate. The reason why I didn't do it originally is because I just figured, well, if people want to support me, I could also offer more benefits in here. I get it because you want to donate in Casper, not actual dollars, but you know, I was like, if you want to donate, you can check out the community here, where you can end up learning a lot more, and therefore you're making more benefits. So while it's like donating in a sense, but you're actually getting more for your buck for it as well, as opposed to just giving me, you know, out of the kindness of your heart. Which again, I appreciate it more than anything. You have no idea. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Again, I'll look into it, Adam. I promise you, I'll look into it, because I know some people do very much want to showcase their belief to me with that. I'm surprised Miss Martin here. Yeah, I'm also surprised as well. I must be very busy today, unfortunately. But it is what it is. He'll be watching this on playback, I'm sure. If not, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. He might just be busy today. I'm sure it'll show up maybe tomorrow, maybe not, I don't know. I will probably be going live tomorrow, but it's going to probably be a little bit earlier because of Mother's Day, but equally, I'll see how it goes because, again, see what's happening because I know I'm meant to be out with my family tomorrow, so if I have time to stream, I will do. I'll make an announcement about that in my free community again. So if you want to find out if I'm going live tomorrow and when it will be, check out the community here as well. But with that being said, how long do you have to wait until for 50 cents? Not sure, Crypto Cash. It really depends on the economy and when they see the market reversal. The speculation we're going to see it rally up with the M2 supply, which is now making a recovery. And Kaspa's announcement could hopefully, line up with M2 supply reaching higher highs, May 5th being here, with M2 supply is above here. If M2 supply is up here, but then that could be a very good indicator for Kaspa. Who knows? M2 supply right now is on the up, which is good. Let's wait and see. Think of the US like keeping an ant farm and the ants being other countries. We provide food and water and help. Then we realize our glass, we drink from and you fish food and fill your dish with it is empty. I mean, I think I see where you're coming from, Kryptoni. So we can stop to get to the water and fill our glass because we need water too, so we can continue to help. I mean, yeah, fundamentally speaking, US economy right now, they're in so much debt because the US keeps handing out money to other countries to help them out. But they've built up a substantial amount of debt, and they ultimately ended up dirtying their own, plates, if you will. And now Trump's seemingly trying to fix it. But again, be that as it may, we've got more to come. I'm sure more downside in the short term, but long term, again, as highlighted here, things still look extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. If you want to know more about the institutional insight and a lot more in-depth analysis into the crypto market alongside trades and much more provided in there, come check out the community here, linked down below. If you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to know more, come check out even the free community here. Also, you can follow me on Twitter here as well. Quick Crypto with a 1 and a 0. And yeah, that being said, have a great day, good evening, good night, and a good weekend. I hopefully will be streaming tomorrow. I'll let everybody know, but it's Mother's Day, so we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, take care of yourself, don't be emotional, be logical. See you in the next one.